All right. So, as I said, welcome to Breaking the Cycle, How to Stop Starting Over. I'm Kimberly, and I help women and men break free from the all or nothing mindset so they can finally create lasting change in their health and fitness. If you've heard of my program, the AIM method, it stands for Adjust Your Mindset. I'm all about helping you adjust your mindset to seeing your journey in a different light. Oftentimes we think of health and weight loss, it can kind of be overwhelming, kind of daunting. So I want to make sure to provide a place for that. One thing that makes sense to you and your goals or how you want to live your life, we're working on that and not instead of how to lose 30 pounds by spring break. That's next week. Or, sometimes we have influencers or celebrities or maybe your best friend or someone that has a goal or they're having a habit that you think, oh, I should probably do that too. Does it align with your lifestyle? Maybe, maybe not. So we want to make sure that I can help you with those type of things to get through that process for you. This is your life, not mine, not your besties, not your cousins. So we want to. That's what this is all about. Me personally, I have struggled with fad diets, green tea pills, crazy workouts, and all that fun stuff. When I was working at a school in Indiana, it actually really helped. I had a health coach who taught me about intuitive eating and mindfulness. These concepts really helped a lot with my mindset of around health and fitness and nutrition. I learned that our bodies tell us what we need, and so we need to learn to listen to our bodies and trust our bodies and actually listen to them. And when it comes to habits, not all habits are good habits, and I'm sure you can think of a few. What we're working on today is figuring out what habits serve us. We're going to be talking about why we get stuck in the cycle of starting over and over again and how to finally break free for good. All right. But the end for you is that you have a clear, actionable step and of how to move forward with confidence. There we go. Life can be a lot. Some days, even thinking about taking care of yourself is on the back burner. Whether you have, family, friends, you're thinking about your diet, going to the gym, you have homework, or you're helping someone with homework, you have to make dinner, you have deadlines for work, whatever it might be, it's a lot. Okay, so when we're trying to add in taking care of ourselves, it can be a little bit, let me put that on the back burner and not worry about that right now. So if you can relate, go ahead and drop a relatable in the comments below. And that way, as we comment through the video, I want to encourage you to comment, even if you're watching on the replay, because when we see these things, relatable, me too, I know that, whatever the comments are, I want to encourage you to go ahead and comment because it it helps when other people you're seeing like, oh, I'm not alone. Hey, this person does too. So I just want to encourage you to go ahead and comment when you feel called. You don't have to. It really helps. I feel like it helps everybody, even including yourself. So if you've ever felt like your goals and your habits or your health are put on the back burner, go ahead and drop relatable in the comments. All right. The inevitable the inevitable pattern of so many of our efforts. Okay. Think for a second. See if you can relate to this scenario. You start, you're motivated, you're all in for a few days, maybe a couple weeks, and then life happens. Stress, fatigue, perfectionism, self-doubt, those things are creeping in. And then you miss a day, then two. Then you tell yourself, I'll start Monday, or I'll start next year. I'll start, we're starting over and over, start fresh. Does that sound familiar? Now, how many times have you felt like you've started over? Are you feeling like this is a never ending, like you're constantly being tossed side to side and just can't seem to catch a break? If you can, don't worry, you're not alone. As I said, we're all kind of going through these. We all have different habits. We all have our issues that maybe can prevent us from sticking to it. So, like I said, we're going to talk about how we can go through that today. All right. So, let's first dig into why this happens. Oftentimes, perfectionism. We get into this idea that it has to be perfect. It may lead to paralysis where we think if we can't do it perfectly, well, we shouldn't do it at all. But perfection is actually the enemy of progress. So when instead of having that perfect, everything has to be perfect, it prevents us from actually taking action because we're getting in our head like this has to be 100%, there can be any errors, I can't screw up. Eh, better not do it at all because that seems like too much. Okay? Maybe that's you, maybe not. That's okay. Oftentimes, that leads to also unrealistic expectations. We're expecting ourselves to be perfect, but we all know no one is perfect, right? Oftentimes, we also have an all or nothing. It's very similar. We feel like we either are on track or off track, no in between. But actually, our progress is made in that middle ground. When you push through, even if you fall off track and you keep going instead of quitting, that's when real progress is made. Oftentimes, too, we have that quick fix mindset. We often, when we have an event coming up, maybe summer around the corner, we've got spring break coming up for, I know, a lot of people, or maybe you are on spring break now. We want to look our best. We have maybe a wedding or an event. Anyway, we want to look our best. And while that's great, I mean, I encourage you, you want to look good, feel good, but don't you want to look and feel good all the time? We don't want to say there's an end date to our habits or our goals. And when we have that end date, that kind of finites, okay, now I'm going to start over because there was an end date there. So you want to kind of, it has that mindset of quick fix. We want to drop these 30 pounds, like I said. So that's one of the reasons that we get stuck in that cycle. Also, another reason is because there's a lack of structure and accountability. We rely on motivation instead of building the habits that make it easier to be consistent. Oftentimes, if we don't really set a plan and we're just like, oh, I'm going to lose weight. Okay, cool. But then if we don't have a structured plan that we know will help us even on those hard days, it's going to make it really hard to be consistent. And then one more thing that I think is really important, they're all important, but habits that aren't aligned with your goals, they're often the reasons that we're going to fall off because we don't really care about them that much. Like I said earlier, if we're following a certain habit or goal because of celebrity or an influencer like TikTok, whatever other things that we're watching, that there are people that are telling us, oh, you need to try this pill. Oh, you need to try this weight loss plan. Oh, you need to do this. But are they really, does that line up with where you want to see yourself? So sometimes we need to literally take a good look at the habit or the goal and make sure it matches what we want for ourselves. Now, kind of going over these reasons here: perfection, unrealistic expectations, all or nothing, all these. Do any of those feel like something you've gone through before? drop a yes in that comments if you can relate. And speaking of comments, I'm going to take a quick second and pop on and see. I see that we have one. Let's see. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Good to see you guys are here today. Thank you for joining me. All right, let's keep going here. So now that we know kind of some of these, I mean, we all know some of these reasons anyway, but sometimes we just need to take a step back and we're going to figure out now how to break the cycle. Okay, that's what we're here for. Let's do it. So, step one. Now, let me take a pause here. If you feel like any of these, resonate with you, feel free. Take notes. Like I said, this will be recorded, so if you want to look back at it or if you want to see any of the information, just let me know. Okay, so step one, we're going to focus on small, consistent actions. Consistency is a big part of keeping your habits, keeping them going. So we want to make sure that we are not making such a big habit or such a big goal that's like, this is not attainable. It's not about giant leaps. It's about small, repeatable actions. So something that you're like, oh yeah, I could do this every day or, 3 times a week or whatever it is. Um, rather, instead of committing, for example, instead of committing to working out 6 days a week, maybe start with a 10-minute walk a day. 6 days a week, that's one day off. And if you're going from 0 workouts a week to 6, that is a giant leap. You might be able to do it for a week or two, but then guess what? Your body's going to be tired. You're not going to want to go. You're going to just be exhausted. And making that big of a leap is just going to be a lot. And why set yourself up for failure? All right, step 2. We're going to shift from outcome goals to habit goals. So as I mentioned, we're all about adjusting your mindset, right? So we're going to take that shift. Instead of thinking, I want to lose 20 pounds, we can maybe shift that to, I will move my body for 20 minutes a day. I really like the idea, there's also add stuff in instead of take stuff out. So if we're trying to eat healthier, maybe adding in vegetables instead of taking out maybe your dessert. And making these steps like thinking like, oh, I'm going to add in instead of take away. I really like that mindset. So if we try to think of ways that we can just make that little shift, it's not much, but again, instead of saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, we can shift it to, I will move my body for 20 minutes a day. Doesn't that sound so much better than trying to figure out how to lose 20 pounds? That's a lot to try to figure out. And the result will follow. And then the habit, it's building because you're seeing that it's working. You're doing those 20-minute walks and then, or moves, whatever it might be. And so that's what's going to help. That's one way you can help shift to breaking that cycle. Step 3, make it easy. Remove barriers. This is so funny because we want to make it literally as easy as possible. For me, I know I try to drink enough water each day for my goals. And this big old gallon guy here, this makes it easy because it's all right here. I can carry it. It has a straw, which is big for me, like a big deal for me. And it has a lid that locks. Now, do you need to go out and get you a gallon and start drinking that? No. I've been doing this for almost 10 years. So I'm used to it by now. So don't stress that. My point is, I make it easy. If I don't have this thing with me, I probably won't drink water as much. And that's just because it's too much work, or I want to drink something else instead. So it might sound silly, but having removing those barriers that might seem remedial actually might make a big difference. So the easier that you make it for yourself, it's going to help. Now, I also want to introduce you, if you've ever heard of the phrase habit stacking. So habit stacking is basically taking something that you do already. Let's say you brush your teeth in the morning. What can you add to that that will be making that kind of pattern? So, for example, if you want it to be a fitness related activity, you could say, okay, when I brush my teeth, I'm going to do 5 squats. Um, or another one, if your goal is to work out in the morning, as you're getting ready for bed, set your clothes out the night before. It's easy. You don't have to wake up and now you're running late and oh, now I don't know what to wear. Set out your clothes the day before. I mean, that could be for anything. It doesn't have to be working out. That could just be for your day. I have a 5 a.m. I have to be at work at 5 a.m. tomorrow. The only way that I'm going to not be panicking in the morning is if I have my clothes laid out and my breakfast ready. So that's one thing that I find really helps. Before bed, part of my routine is making sure I have those ready. Another one, if you want to eat healthier, prep your meals ahead of time so the decision is easy. Oftentimes, it's time for that meal and it's like, oh no, I don't know what to eat, and now I'm gonna just go run through the drive-through because it's easier. One thing that I mentioned in the beginning about flossing. So, confession, growing up and even as a teenager and kind of my early 20s, I didn't really take care of my teeth very well, and I was going to the dentist after some time of not going to the dentist and realized that my teeth were really bad. And that was one thing that I knew I needed to fix that habit. I did not have the habit of brushing my teeth and flossing and mouthwash and all that lovely fun teeth stuff. Okay. So I didn't want to keep paying for these astronomical dentist bills because that's nuts. And I hated the pain, of going in there and I was embarrassed. And I don't, your teeth, everybody sees your teeth. So this became important to me in my 30s. And I started flossing. I added it to okay, when I brush my teeth, it sounds so simple. When I brush my teeth, I'm going to floss. But it wasn't something that I was already doing. So I stacked the habit and then started flossing my teeth. And guess what? The next time I went to the dentist, I had good numbers and I was so excited. So even though that's not necessarily a fitness habit, it's for my health, it's for me, and it's me taking care of me. And so to me, it was important that I would do that. And I have one more that I wanted to share. So, just like when I said about brushing your teeth, maybe do 5 squats. Um, my hubby, Ross, he actually started doing 10 push-ups every time he went to the bathroom. So I bet he didn't know he was going to get mentioned in this today. But so that really, that kind of became that like stacked, you're already going to the bathroom. So hey, what else can I do? It's not necessarily a habit of going to the bathroom, but we all go to the bathroom, right? All right, great. Now, step 4, reframe. So we're back to that adjusting your mindset. Reframe messing up as actually part of the process. So instead of thinking, I failed, try to shift that mindset to I'm learning what works for me. So just because something like maybe a habit, maybe it's not for you, and that's okay. Just because, like I said, your bestie does it or some celebrity does it, doesn't mean it's for you. You can try it. And progress is never a straight line. It's about adjusting and pushing forward. So Instead of just giving up completely, give it a try. Keep moving forward and realize, okay, this is what I need to do. I didn't set out my clothes last night. It didn't work. I didn't work out. I'm going to need to set my clothes out because then I'm going to work out or have a better chance of working out because you went through the effort of putting your clothes out. All right, so those are the first 4 steps of how we can kind of adjust that mindset about habits. Sometimes we also need to just adjust the habits that we've chosen to work on for ourselves. Think of your GPS if you use one. I use one all the time. But anyway, so think of on your GPS, if you go down one road because you already know the way and it's like recalculating or rerouting, it doesn't say, well, you have to go home now or wherever. It just is readjusting to your new route. So perhaps that's a way you can think about it. I'm just readjusting, recalculating, and keep going towards my goal. Some reasons. It could be that your habit was too complicated. Like I said, these big, lofty goals or habits, maybe it's too much. And that's okay. I promise you, it is okay. Maybe your habit needs to be shifted to a different time of day. You don't want to get stuff ready the night before? Do it right when you get home from work. Or do it as you're watching TV. Oh, before I watch my show this evening, I need to do this. Work with it. Learn from yourself. Realize, oh, just because it didn't do it at 8 p.m., it's okay. I can do it at 8:15. We just need to shift and see what feels good. It's okay to tweak your habit. I promise it is perfectly okay. My recommendation to a lot of my clients is to give your habit a few weeks, maybe 3 to 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a sweet spot. Reevaluate. Is it working? Does it need work? Take that time every few weeks and check in with yourself rather than just throwing it away. Check in. What do I need to do? Does this habit serve me? Maybe. Maybe I'm just not putting in the effort. What do I need to do to put in that effort? Do I need to take a step back and adjust, recalculate? All right. Now, it is important to have an action plan. I'm going to take a quick moment again and hop on, make sure, see how everybody's doing. I hope you guys are doing all right. All right. So as we go through, now we have these building blocks of how we're going to kind of adjust our mindset. So now we need a plan for how we're going to approach these habits. Okay. First, I want you to clearly define the habit that aligns with your goals. Take a minute to ask yourself these questions. When will I do this habit? Where will I do this habit? How and why? Why am I doing it? Why? Get real with yourself. Are you doing it because you want to fit into that dress? Are you doing it because you want to be confident? Are you doing it because you want to feel better inside? What is it? Why? Okay. And number 2, consider habit stacking. What do you do already that you can combine with your new habit? Think about the things that you do every day or, every weekend, maybe every month, maybe on the first Saturday of the month, you always go get groceries. I hope you get groceries more than that, but sometimes that's what it is for us, so it's okay. But the point is, something that you do already, you can add one little thing to that if it works for you. Do you have to? No, it's just one option that you can do. Now, this one is big. You need to plan for obstacles. You're going to have busy days. bad moods, setbacks. These things are probably some of the reasons that you stopped and broke your cycle and or your you broke your habit or you lost track, you fell off of the train, however you want to think of it. These are probably some of the reasons. You need to plan for those. What are you going to do when you have a bad day? For example, you can have some backup meals, maybe in the freezer if you can. I really like having a mood boost playlist. So if you have like a few songs that really get you pumped or make you feel good, make yourself a playlist. Play that playlist and get yourself refocused. Maybe take 5, 10 minutes to breathe. Shut yourself in a bathroom, breathe, and refocus. You don't have to quit. You don't have to give up. Just take that time to refocus and realize why you're doing this for you. What is it that where you won't take no for an answer? Okay? What is it that what can you do that will help you push forward? And I want you to make sure to give yourself grace. If you need to, if you missed a day and it was your planned day and you even tried these backup plans or your obstacle plans, forgive yourself. Next day, done. Let's keep going. We don't want to stay dwelling on that. We want to keep pushing forward. There we go. And number 4, we went to one way that helps some people is to track your progress. Now, if you like digital tools, like apps on the phone, my app that I use for my business has a great habit tracker that can be customized to your specific goals. Okay. For example, I have a client who has 6 habits that they try to do every single day. The reminders come up on their phone throughout the day to help them see what's working and what isn't. So it might pop up and say, do your meditation. Check. And they really enjoy the like little process of hitting the button, say, I did it. And then every couple of weeks, we kind of chat like, how are these habits going? Are you noticing that you're not doing them? Are you noticing that every time the lunch one comes on, you just kind of shrug it away? So we kind of revisit that every couple of weeks, and I can see it on my end of the app, the admin end, and I can see like, oh, didn't hit the calorie goals today, and that's okay. It's just me being observant, and then I can approach my client and we can discuss it together. Now, for those of you who like to fill in a paper tracker, like to color or put X's and the actual physical of filling something in, I actually put together a tracker sheet that can be a great visual tool. So if you want a copy of that, I will be including that. Please just make sure to put the word tracker in the comments and I'll be sure to get you a copy. I'll try to put it in with this video, but to make sure you get it, make sure to put tracker and make sure that gets to you. Here. Yeah, so this is a little bit what it looks like. I didn't want to give it all away, but yeah, so you're going to get your own copy for free that you can print off. You can print over and over and over, maybe make it into a notebook, whatever feels good for you. Plus, put it up on the fridge, put it on your mirror, whatever. It's a daily tracker for a whole month's worth, and you can use it however you see fit. There's a spot where you write down your habit. We're writing why it's important. We've got to focus on why. Why does it matter to us? And then there's a spot to place your game plan. So if you're having a bad day and you don't really care about your backup obstacle or your backup plan, who cares? It's a hard day. I'm just not going to pay attention. Well, by having this placed on your fridge or your diary or wherever it is, it can kind of be a good visual reminder for you. Say, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing this, and this is what I'm going to do. So I really like having a printable tracker. That's my preference. I do love the app, but we all have our preferences. And then last step in our action plan, you don't have to go it alone. So we have an amazing community on Facebook that is the AIM method defeat or no. That's the name of my own. The AIM method, aging with confidence and strength. And with that community, if you're not already in it, we just kind of give you an overview. I post a lot of stuff this month. We're talking about nutrition. Next month, I've got a lot of good stuff coming. And the goal of that group, honestly, is to have people be able to reach out for support, to lift each other up. If you're having a bad day, you can share about it. If you need some backup plans for these obstacles, we're there for it. So if you are not part of our community yet and would like to be, please comment below so I can make sure to get you in. And also, the AIM method, as I mentioned, is one of my programs that takes you through healthy habits. And we work together to find which ones work for you. I provide you with a few different ones throughout the program, but then we figure out, okay, this one, yep, nope, this one isn't good for me. It doesn't align with my habits. And that's okay. We take it out. And we just keep finagling with that until we find ones that work for you and not against you. Now, working in this program helps you form and stick to your healthy habits. We also delve into nutrition in this program, and you learn about how your body thrives with different approaches to nutrition. We aren't necessarily counting calories here. We are learning about our bodies, adapting, and seeing results. The AIM method was built to help you live a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. If you'd like to learn more about this program, comment schedule to schedule your free coaching call, and I'd be glad to get that set up for you. We would talk about your goals and your next steps of how maybe one of the programs can help. Okay, now I know this is a lot of information. I'd like to invite you to take a moment for yourself to reflect on some of the information that we discussed and how it can apply to you. As you go through this reflection, I encourage you to either comment your feedback, or you can just, get a little piece of paper, write it down, put it in your phone. And I want you to identify what is the number one thing that keeps making you restart. Think about the things that we've talked about. If it's none of those, such as perfectionism, all or nothing, quick fix, not aligning, whatever, if those aren't it for you, write down what it is. And if it's more than one thing, that's okay. I just want you to think of one thing, the number one, the biggest thing that keeps you making restart. And I want you to feel free to pause, especially if you're watching on the replay, give this a pause and take some time. And then I want you to think, what is one simple way to shift this pattern of this up and down, this yo-yo that we go through? Can you habit stack? Can you plan for your obstacles? Can you tweak your habit to make it align with your goals better? Would it help to talk to a coach and get some guidance? Can you join a supportive community like ours? Like I said, feel free to pause, comment here, or write it down for yourself. Remember, the more you put into workshops like this, the more you get out of it. So take that time and figure out what works for you. And again, I'm here. You can send me a message. I'm glad to help. All right. You're doing great. Hang in there with me. We're almost done. So let's recap. Habits aren't all or nothing. Shifting your mindset can make a major impact. Forgiving yourself and pushing forward is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And you can always get a coach, get some support, and join our community. I know there's other communities out there, but I'm pretty biased about ours. So, like I said, feel free to reach out if you want to learn more about any of those. Now, I'm a big quotes person, but the thing about quotes is they only work if you do. So you can read quotes all day. I can inspire you all day. I can motivate you all day, but the work is up to you. So I just wanted to share these because they're pretty good. If you want to change your life, start by changing your daily habits. Small choices create big results. Growth begins at the edge of your comfort zone. The life you want is just beyond what feels safe. Every decision you make is a step towards the person you want to become. Choose wisely. Choose health. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep going. All or something, not all or nothing. The cycle ends when you decide to keep moving forward. How powerful is that? And I'm going to back up to one of those quotes here. The all or something. That is one of my favorite quotes that I first heard from the Betty Rocker. She's an awesome, I guess she's an influencer. I'm not sure how to pronounce or how to put it, but she is someone that I followed in towards the beginning of my journey, and I was working out and did a couple of her programs, and she said all or something, and that stuck with me. It's probably been 6 years since I've heard that. And it really stuck with me because it's that perfectionism that we're getting rid of that. You can still have your perfectionism if you want, but in other places. But when it comes to improving yourself, you do not have to be perfect. Giving it something is going to be better than giving it nothing. All right. Now I'm going to have a little bit of space here for some questions. So please, if you have any questions, comment them in below. I'm popping on. Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm going to go through some comments here. I really love this. So we have relatable comments here. We can relate. That's awesome. And oh, HelloFresh. Yes, HelloFresh is awesome. We've tried it before. We kept the little recipe cards because the food was really good, and it it just got to be kind of too much to try to keep track of. But I really like that. Um, oh, good. See, when we comment, we can support each other and give each other input. So I love it. Good chat, you guys. That's awesome. So yeah, if you have any questions about like what we talked about so far today, even after this video, because we're just about done, please put them in the comments or send me a message. I'm here for you. And I just want to say thank you all so much for coming on today or watching the replay, whichever. And it really supports my small business of Hartman Health and Fitness, and it means a lot just to see your faces or see the little thing pop up that someone is here. And it just, even if you can't, take part in any of the programs at this time, that's okay. It just seeing you here and active with my content is just really helpful. I hope that you were able to get some insight and support today. And like I said, be on the lookout. I'll be posting the habit tracker. And yeah, so if you have any questions, please reach out. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to stop sharing and pop on one more time for any last minute questions. Oh, my light just went out. Oh, that was exciting. Okay, I think, yeah, everybody's still here. Okay, awesome. Mhm. Oh, so that we can go through. Now it's repeating me. All right. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful evening and see you next time.